Hello and welcome to the first stage of the European Para Archery Grand Prix. We're here in Nove Mesto in Slovenia, and it's nothing but gold medals up for grabs in this session. I'm Karim Bashir, and joining me is a man who is no stranger to the top step of the podium. 2008 Paralympic champion, 2016 Paralympic silver medalist, and 4 times world champion. It's John Stubbs. John, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here for this session. What have we got to look forward to today?
Thanks, Karim. It's what we've got to look forward to today is obviously it's the pinnacle of an archer's career to be shooting in a gold medal match or in any medal match. So they just want to give us a spectacle really and let us see what para archers are capable of.
Well, it's going to be an absolute joy to hear what you have to say to this. I mean, a Paralympic champion in our midst to talk us through this. We're going to start with the visually impaired gold medal match, and down on the field of play, as you can see, the athletes are getting ready. Say that it looks like we're moved on straight away to the women's W1 gold medal match, and in fact it's going to be Nove Mesto of Turkey taking on Sarka Myslova of the Czech Republic, both in wheelchairs. John, you're a wheelchair user. What's it like shooting from a wheelchair?
You know what, as a para-athlete shooting from a chair, it's, I've been called that I've got a disadvantage or an advantage because, the able-bodied like to say that we're shooting from a more level platform, but we shoot from our core, so we generally feel the wind through our bodies, unlike the able-bodied archers that could sway with the wind. We get buffeted more.
So tricky, to say the least. And in this W1 Open gold medal match, the archers are able to use both recurve and compound bows. But as you can see, Nove Mesto here is going to get this one underway, is using a compound bow. Now, is that normal, John?
Yeah, why would you put yourself at a disadvantage shooting recurve?
Yeah.
Everybody's shooting compound.
And look, I don't want to belittle one or the other discipline, but is it just easier with a compound bow?
It is, to be honest, but it's also you miss quicker when you shoot the compound because the bows are so much faster. She got lucky with that arrow.
You say she got lucky. What do you mean she got lucky?
She had a bit of a twinge midway through a draw up, and she was sort of preempting the arrow.
Well, miss with the first arrow is not the best of starts from Sarka Myslova, but she does finish solidly with 2 9s. So the advantage very much with the athlete from Turkey. Is there any way of coming back from such a deficit in the first end?
She's on home soil, she's going to have the full support of all the crowd being fully behind her. Yeah, it gives you added pressures as well, being on the home soil, that you feel as though everybody is sort of pointing the finger, But Turkey have got a fantastic para program at the moment, so they're a nation to be reckoned with.
Well, Turkey are well known within the non-disabled part of the sport. A massive centre in Istanbul, but of course they mainly train out in Belek and Antalya, of course. How is the program in both of these countries?
you can appreciate in Turkey, because they do have such a strong, able-bodied team, that they try and coincide. They train, they cross train with their able-bodied counterpart. As far as the Paralympic program in Czech, it's very much that they keep themselves to themselves, even though they have a lot of able-bodied coaches that sort of oversee what they're up to.
Clearly for Saka Mislova, who's here in this gold medal match. Just going a little high here.
Yeah, good shooter by the Turk. Oh.
Yeah, big movement, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of preemption on the shot there. She's very tentative as she goes to release the arrow.
Well, it's a very solid start.
Yeah, very good follow through. Absolutely, yeah.
So very clear
confident
lead. Yeah, very confident. Look, you talked about the buffeting of the wind, and it can affect wheelchair archers more so than non-disabled archers. But there's a lot of movement, isn't there, from Maslova?
There is. Yeah, yeah. The Maslova from Czech Republic shoots a lot with David Drahinsky, so I think she needs that, how can I say, that team person alongside her, so, but with the Turkish girl, you can see it, she's very confident. She knows that she's been shooting well all week, so she's going into this match fully, how can I say, she's expected to do well.
Expecting to win, and has a 15-point lead after just 2 ends. So very solid position. We need to see Saka Mislova from the Czech Republic, or Czechia, as I'm told it's now commonly referred to really up her game. But you can see there's just a little bit of tension there. She's looking just a little nervous. She'll shoot first in this third end.
Yeah, she needs a positive start.
Can she get it into the gold? Another big flinch.
She'll be happy with that, but she won't be happy with the technique.
Well, a point gained back from Maslova. She needs a few more of those.
Absolutely. Oh dear.
Really struggling with those nerves.
Yeah.
And, gets a 6 there. That's her lowest arrow so far, apart from the miss right at the beginning.
And all it does, it feeds more pressure onto the next arrow,
It's a wide group, a deep breath there, trying to compose herself. On the other side, Nove Mesto looking solid, in control. Just a little bit of movement there, up and down.
Yeah. Put a low one in. Getting a bit cocky.
So listen, John, look, you've been right at the pinnacle of the game, you know, the best in the world for a long time. What is it like when you're out in this situation? Clearly very hot there, as you see Nove Mesto pouring some water over the back of her neck. What's going through your mind? Tell us about that Paralympic final. Are you in the zone, or are the nerves? What's going on?
Absolutely. You just get into the zone and you just, you have your agent, your coach, and you just don't want them to be talking technical. You just want them to talk gobbledygooch to you about anything, about the weather, about the music playing in the background, just to take your mind off the archery. You know, you train for this. This is what you do. You know, you shoot arrows in your sleep. So you know how to shoot a good arrow. You don't need reminding of it. You just want to enjoy it. For what, not everybody will get to shoot in these medal matches. Soak it up and enjoy it.
Easier said than done. But that's a Paralympic champion telling you that's what you need to do. So who better to listen to? Sarka Myslova here in a little spot of bother. I think this is, I don't want to say irrecoverable, but very, very tricky now.
You know, she needs a couple more of those. Put the pressure on the Turkish lady. And it'll build her confidence.
Well, as you say, John, the pressure is off a little bit. That miss right at the beginning, perhaps, starting the story of this match. It is, of course, for gold. So, we've got to give credit to Myslova. She's made it all the way through. She's starting to look a little bit more confident now.
Yeah, absolutely. And she's got to remember she's coming away with a medal. It does take the pressure off you a little bit when you're in a gold-silver medal match, because at the end of the day, you're coming away with something.
Another little bit of movement there, and that's just drifted out left.
You can see it in her face that she's not happy. Long hold.
Worth it though, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. But that's when the time starts to encroach. You start worrying about your time, and are you going to run out of time? Because you only get 20 seconds to do this, this shot.
And in terms of the draw, I mean, it's interesting because looking at the differences, we don't see as much para archery as we do the able-bodied content. In terms of your quiver, that's what, on the side of your chair? Is the process similar?
Absolutely, the process there is absolutely identical. The only difference for these girls is they're at a limited draw weight, whereas able-bodied and the men and the ladies are shooting 60 pounds. These people are shooting under 35 pounds. So they're going to get affected by the weather, but unfortunately, the weather affects you more than it affects the arrows, and it's basically blocking that out, that the arrow, once it's on its travels, it's not going to get blown by the wind.
So you talk about the bow weight for new watchers of archery. What does that mean? What does bow weight mean?
When this girl draws up, she'll draw up and she'll draw over 35 pound, and then she's holding now at full draw about 10 pounds at full draw. So it means that she can stabilise on the shot for a lot longer.
Stability, obviously the key when you're looking down the side, trying to put this into the middle of the target. Absolutely,
and these girls are shooting off recurve sights, so they don't have scopes. the Compound Unlimited class have a bubble spirit level on their site.
Yeah, so John there referring to the aids, if you like, for the archers. Sight scopes. And you'll see the stabilizers on the bow. The long rods that stick out from the bow. They're there for balance and control. So this one now, you have to say, pretty much out of reach. Mathematically so.
She's shooting for pride now. Yeah.
So 117 on the board. And finishes with an X10 and a 25. Her lowest score apart from the third end. But Nove Mesto from Turkey, a very confident winner here in the Women's W1 Open gold medal match, champion of Nove Mesto 2023. So confirmation there that Nove Mesto from Turkey has taken the Women's W1 Open gold medal here at the first stage of the European Para Archery Cup, and a very dominant performance from her. John, in summary, she was just too good, right?
Yeah, she looked confident from the start, you know. So, take my hat off to her. You know, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
So match number one done here in Slovenia. It was a tricky one for Misalova. The miss at the beginning, an indication of the nerves that she was suffering from, but she walks away from here with a silver medal and more experience on the podium range. I'm sure when she comes back out for medals in the future, she'll live off this experience. But all the plaudits to Nove Mesto from Turkey with gold in the Women's W1 Open. Coming up very shortly, we'll turn our attention to the Men's W1 Open category and the gold medal match there. And what a superstar of para archery we have coming up in the shape of David Drahinski from the Czech Republic. He'll, I'm sure, show Misalova how it's done as he goes up against Italy's Paolo Tonon. So, John, as we wait for these athletes to come out for the men's W1 Open Gold, tell us, are you still shooting? Do you still do it for fun, or are you still competing?
I obviously retired internationally in sort of 2021 and decided that I was going to take it down a different avenue. So I tried to get into field archery. And because of my disability, it was just never going to happen. So I actually entered the International Field Archery Association Indoor World Championships that were in Kent in this year. Never done it before, went along and came third.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, time now for the I should say the men's W1 Open recurve compound category gold medal match.
On target number 2, representing Italy, Paolo Tonon. Line judge of this match is Alexei.
So a massive one here, the 2021 Paralympic champion, well, 2020 we're supposed to say, in Tokyo, obviously delayed for reasons well documented. But Paralympic champion from Tokyo, David Drahinski, the world #1, silver medalist from Rio in 2016. Here he is from the Czech Republic, taking on Paolo Tonon from Italy. This is a tricky task for the Italian, is it not?
He's got it all. He's against it all. He's against the country here. You know, David's a massive force to be reckoned with. You know, he's world renowned.
Oh, well, what a start. What can Paolo Tonon do? Really, he's got to start well against Draninsky. Wow.
Oh,
John, we've got a match on our hands, right?
got a bit of equal pressure now. I still expect David to rise to the event, though.
Well, I'm going to have to sit on the other side of the fence and go for the newbie in Tonon. And an 8 from Draninsky opens the door a little bit. Of course, a cumulative score through the 5 ends.
Very equal, very even. David's his own worst critic, so he puts a lot of time behind the bow.
So matched through the first end, 27 apiece. You have to say, the Italian's done what he needs to do at the beginning of their match. He's not let Draninsky run away with this. Absolutely. It's about maintaining pressure, you know. Yeah,
that's all he could do.
And that consistency as well. I mean, you talked about Draninsky here, putting time behind the bow, biggest critic of himself. What do you mean? I mean, in terms of training, are you training at the same level? Are you able to train at the same level as the able-bodied athletes?
David's a full-time athlete. You know, he will shoot. He shoots a lot. He probably shoots 6 days a week. You know, his whole life revolves around archery. He's got so much from it. You know, he's a superstar of the Czech Republic.
Yeah, he's a superstar of world archery, that is for sure. And just to put this competition in context, I mean, just remember, guys, we're watching the men's W1 Open gold medal match. Draninsky, the superstar of the sport. But put this competition into context with the rest of it and Paralympic qualification for Paris, for example.
Well, you know, this is where the journey starts. It's all about, you know, putting pressure on the other countries, letting you know that you're still out there.
Well, Draninsky, a master of that pressure, demonstrated there at the start of this second end, putting it right in the middle of the target.
The Italian's got a very laboured technique. He has followed through, but it's sort of an afterthought.
Well, talk us through that in a little bit more detail now, John, as we look at
as you can, yeah, as he draws up, you know, he's drawing back. He activates the trigger, and then his elbow comes backwards afterwards. So it's a delayed reaction. Whereas if you watch with David, it's all one fluid movement. Oh, back.
So what happened there, John?
He had just concentration lapse. You know, he was thinking about the shot before he activated it. Yeah. Match on here.
That's some pressure for sure. That is some pressure for sure. So 55 apiece for this pair. Draninski, well, much fancied the favourite for this match, but Paolo Tonon from Italy really keeping the pressure on. And there was a massive flinch there, wasn't it? You called it a lapse in concentration.
Absolutely. He was thinking about the about the shot he'd already previously shot. So he wasn't actually in the moment. So yeah, he won't be happy with that.
And how hard is it to keep that focus throughout a match? I mean, in match play, obviously, a shorter format than the ranking round. Can you have those lapses, or is the key to being at the very top of the game not having those lapses?
You can't afford to have those lapses in a 15-hour match. And to be fair, the Italians should be jumping all over that.
So all square in the match, 55 apiece. Straninski from the Czech Republic under a little bit of pressure.
David's so psychologically strong, though. He's come back from worse. It's good shooting.
Yeah, I'm not sure we would have predicted this at this stage. We're coming up to halfway through the match, and there's nothing between these two.
No, David's got it all to shoot for.
Door open here.
Absolutely.
Can we see Paolo Tonon take advantage of this? Oh, yes, we can. And he takes the lead. It's only by a point.
Still say David's got the experience.
Oh, spot on, John. Spot on. Right back into the middle of the target. Finishing with an 84 after 9 arrows. Can Tonon hold the lead here with a 10? Doesn't.
Yeah, good shooting.
Yeah, we're all square again. And you say good shooting. You're looking at that shot and you're saying that it was executed well. It just veered off into the 9, right?
I'm not saying it's executed well, because I'm very much my own critique on my technique. The Italian guy needs to work on his technique, but he's holding it together. And at the end of the day, it's all about putting the arrow into the 10 ring. You know, however you get it down there, it's about holding it together and putting it in the 10.
Well, just looking at that technique again, you talked about the afterthought of the elbow going back. What does he need to do then to improve that, to make it part of the process?
His shot is very much a preemptive shot. Compound archery should all be about a surprise release. So it shouldn't be so. It should be a subconscious action, whereas at the moment he's consciously releasing the arrow. It will jump up and bite him, probably at the worst time.
Well, there's your prediction from your 2008 Paralympic champion from Great Britain, John Stubbs. David Draninski here, under a spot of bother, you have to say. He's got some pressure on him. But the experience he comes with may well make the difference in this match. Well, dropping into the 8 for the first time since the second end. I wonder if that's the beginning of the march for Draninski here.
Yeah.
Needs a recovery here, Tonon. He needs to get this back into the yellow.
Needs to believe he can win.
Oh, that's drifted even further out, this time going high. And you can see straight away the reaction from the Italian.
Yeah.
This serves as an opportunity now for Draninski. He's been here many times before, as John has said. Oh, and he puts it into the eggs.
Experience.
Well, better arrow, but you just have to look at the scores. 27-27, 55-55, 84-84. The Italian kept it tight through the first three, but in the fourth, dropping an 8 and a 7 means that Draninski has opened up a 5-point lead. He's not going to give this up now, is he, John?
No, it's gone. Unfortunately, the Italian had his opportunity, and when he was looking round to his coach for the support, unfortunately your coach is gone. It's down to you. You've got to be there and you've got to be in the moment. You've got to be putting pressure on these champions. They're just not going to fold. David's all over this match now.
Right, so the big question, John, given your illustrious career, four-time world champion, Paralympic champion in 2008, silver medal in 2016. Have you ever been an underdog in a match?
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes it's the best thing to be the underdog, you know, because you've got absolutely nothing to lose. You can just go in there and enjoy it for the moment, and that's when you shoot at your best.
Well, that's what he's got to do right now. Paolo Tonon, start of the fifth.
He needs a 10. Yeah. Match is gone. Yeah, absolutely. There's no way David can make a mess of this. He only needs to be hitting the target. Oh, don't be altering your sights. Yeah, absolutely.
Late in the day to make that change, as John was suggesting. To put this 1 hour of reach, finishes with
1 hour to go.
Yeah, one more to go, but he's doing enough right now, and that's all that's required. So 3
Good
nines.
group.
Yeah, I was just about to say, not a bad group, is it? But 3 nines not enough. Damage done in the fourth. Draninski to finish this one off. Can he do it in style?
Yeah, he's done it many a time before.
Brilliant stuff from David Draninski from Czechia. He takes the gold medal in the men's W1 Open category at the Euro Para GP here in Nove Mesto in Slovenia, and he is going to be on top of the podium just a little bit later on today. Having that lead, John, sometimes comes with its own pressure, doesn't it?
It does, you know, home soil, you know, and as you saw then, you know, he saluted to the skies in recognition of his father. He lost a few years ago, so his father used to be his coach. so he knows that he's watching down on him and still proud to have him as his son. He's phenomenal, David.
He is, and another great thing about David Draninsky is that he's not shy of showing the emotions. Every win is as important as the last, next, and any that come in the future, and very, very much happy with that performance. A 141-135 gold medal win for David Draninsky from the Czech Republic.
It's a good score, 141.
Yeah, a great score, a 150 possible, and just dropping 9 points. Fantastic performance from him. Great result for Paolo Tonon from Italy as well, but just started to give it away in the fourth, and Draninsky saw it through, and that's what it means to him.
Tamam.
So there we have it in Nove Mesto. The W1 category gold medals are complete, and very shortly I hope to be having a word with the two new gold medalists, Nove Mesto from Turkey and David Draninsky from the Czech Republic. Well, British team there waiting in the wings. They will be looking forward to seeing one of their very own in the Compound Men's Open gold medal match. But up now, it's the interviews for the new gold medalists here in Nove Mesto.
Congratulations, Neil, on this match. So was it a good practice for you for the next World Para Championships in Pilsen?
Şey için, bizim için iyi bir tecrübe olduğunu and it was amazing experience. It was an amazing experience.
Did the cold weather affect your performance?
Soğuk hava senin atışlarını etkiledi mi diyor, performansını etkiledi mi diyor.
Yani oldukça zorladı ama biz muhteşem bir teknik ekiple geldik buraya ve sağlıkçımız, antrenörlerimiz baştan mı alayım? Elinden geleni yaptılar. Bu yüzden herhangi bir zorluk çekmedim ya da çektiğim o zorluğu çektiğimiz o zorluğu en aza indirdiler. O yüzden başarı sağladık.
Yes, it's too much affected for me. It's really hard. Weather conditions. But our team is our staff very strong, and they help me in weather conditions. You're welcome.
Well, what a delight to hear from Nove Mesto, and clearly you can see the camaraderie within the team. Talking, funnily enough, about the cold conditions, and as you can see, there's a bit of a mixture of clothing out there. Looks pretty warm to me, but clearly Nove Mesto feeling a little chilly. Cameron Radigan there from Great Britain.
Hello. Great match, David. Congratulations. So was this a good test for the next World Championships in Pilsen?
Yes, I worked all winter or indoor season very hard, and I am very happy that I win today because this week weather was not so good, and today was sunny and not hard wind, and I meet here new friends, so I'm very happy. It was nice.
Preparing for Paris 2024?
It is far for me, so I will be hard work step by step, and when I am going for my 5th Paralympic Games, I will be happy.
And we are back on the field. And let's
Well, great stuff there from both Nove Mesto and David Draniński, going, as he said, for his 5th Paralympic Games. Absolute legend of the sport. We move on to a couple more legends as we turn our attention to the compound women's open gold medal match.
on target number 1, representing Brazil, Jane Carla Kogel. On target number 2, representing India,
So here we go, the compound women's open gold medal match. Jane Gogol from Brazil taking on Sheetal Devi from India. John, don't want to talk about the obvious, but there's a bit of an obvious difference between these two. Gogol in a wheelchair.
Yeah. And the armless archer. Take 2, yeah. So it's the female version of Matt Stutzman. This should be interesting. She'll obviously, yeah. Obviously, if she's been watching Matt, you know, and his ability to shoot, not just on the para circuit, but the able-bodied. So let's see what transpires.
Gogol starting with an 8, making an immediate change to the site and using a shoulder release. Devi puts it into the 9. So John, look, at the start of this match, it's an opportunity for us to showcase Paralympic sport at its very, very best. I think the Paralympic sports as a whole have become more popular. Certainly, there's a lot more coverage of Paralympic sports, and seeing wheelchair athletes is something that it's almost normalized, thank goodness. But it is still something special to see an armless archer. I mean, it is a phenomenal overcoming of a disability.
But the compound bow and the equipment that's available to these people, you know, they can shoot against the world's best. You know, they're just because they have a disability, it should not stand in their way. You know, this young girl, she can become massive, you know.
10, 28 for Jane Carla Kogel.
Well, fantastic start from Sheetal Devi from India, going 1 point ahead. You talk about the equipment, so this is adapted equipment to allow these archers to shoot. Tell us a bit more about it. What are the types of equipment you see these days?
So you see the Brazilian, she's shooting a conventional setup, she's shooting a hand release, you know, whereas the Indian girl, she's shooting a harness, but she's shooting a back tension release aid. So the hardest thing she finds is to actually put the arrow onto the string and then locate her release aid onto the D loop. Then everything else is just through back tension and her, if you like, her body weight going through the shot. So she's got more body structure, so she's got more stability than the wheelchair archer, really.
So tell us, how does Devi actually release the arrow? Is it literally just getting to a point in the draw that the arrow goes off?
It will be her bow when she settles down onto the shot. It will be holding at about, let's say, 15 pounds, but the back tension release aid will go off a predetermined weight. So she'll set that maybe a pound heavier than the holding weight of her bow. So it'll go purely on pressure that she pushes through the bow.
So the accessibility of archery fully on show here in this compound women's open gold medal match. Brazilian in the second hits her third 10 in a row.
So she's using her gluteus maximus muscle. So she draws up and obviously uses one of the biggest muscles in your body.
10.
Good group.
That's your bum to everyone else.
That's your bum. Yeah, your bum. Yeah.
9.
You don't see that much movement. It's very subtle, isn't it? Until she actually releases, and then I guess from the release there's a sort of a knock-on effect.
Absolutely. It's like an explosion.
So after two great shots in a tight group, one going high right for Gogol. A 9 to draw level for Devi.
9.
And that's just what she gets. So all square here in this match.
28 to 27. 56 points for both.
Devi
tell
is
us-
so stable. Yeah, Devi is so stable on her shot. If we can actually see when she's drawing a bow up, she has a spirit level on her scope, and when she's expanding through her shot, you can see how stable the bubble is sitting because she's not inducing any torque into the bow whatsoever.
Yeah, just totally high quality athletes here, shooting in a match that could not be tighter, 56 apiece. So, John, tell us about Paralympic qualification as we start to turn our eye towards Paris.
So we've obviously got Pilsen coming up very soon, World Championship. You know, there'll be, for the gents compound, 16 places up for grabs there. You know, and any category that's got 32 archers, you know, compound men, compound women, the top 16 will automatically qualify a position for their country.
So you qualify quite a long way in advance, don't you? You've got plenty of time to prepare.
Yeah, but you only qualify positions for the country. It's not for the individual.
Extend.
So you're qualifying berths rather than your own position.
Absolutely.
So just drifting out there a tad. But that one will go for a measure.
10.
Jane's shooting strong.
Yeah, she seems to have just sort of got into her groove now. She's settled down, hasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you're up against an archer that you've not seen much coverage of, you know, you've just got to shoot your own match.
A lovely perfect there from Jane Gogol, who definitely is settling into this one. 10 required from Devi.
Yeah. Jane looks comfortable now, so she seems to be in the zone.
Well, 10 limits the damage a little bit. I mean, it's interesting to see what's going to happen with that measure. First arrow being marked as an 8 asterisk for a measure, so she'll want that one to be bumped up to a 9 for sure. But even if it is, she's going to be trailing Devi for the first time to Gogol, who really has settled in. Do you find it in the pattern of a match, John, that you take a few arrows to get into it and then you can settle down?
Because you come straight from the practice field into the arena, you know, it's all about that, managing that adrenaline. You know, you just want, for me, when I was shooting, I just wanted an arrow to hit the gold. I'd work on that then. As long as it was in the gold, then I'd realise whether I was aiming a little bit low. And I always used to tend to aim a little bit low, allowing for the adrenaline just to take that arrow a little bit higher. And then you could judge that based on your first shot. But you've got to be honest when you shoot. You've got to sort of give it a score yourself before you get the score that has been announced to the crowd.
Yeah, that honesty. I mean, it runs through to the non-disabled version of the sport as well. That consistency, that ability to, as you say, John, be honest with yourself. Was that a good shot? Was it a bad shot? Did I execute it well? Did I miss? Was the wind blowing? There's all these tiny little factors make what seems like a very simple sport actually extremely complicated.
Yeah, and we all get lucky. That's the thing. You just got.
Those 4 World Championship titles, they were all lucky, were they?
I'm not saying I wasn't. At times I was lucky. I'm not saying I shot my best, but you don't necessarily have to. Good shot.
Puts a bit of pressure on Gogol here. Now.
Yeah.
Is that pressure?
All to shoot for now.
Yeah, just a single point in it. Devi needs to follow that 10 up, though.
Yeah, good shot. She fancies it.
Quick shot there from Gogol.
Yeah. Can she finish it off with 3 10s?
Bit of movement. First time we've seen that level of movement, and that's what's pushed it into the 9.
Yeah, you could hear the wind through the mic then, so, you know. And the archer feels it, but they've got to believe that they can hold through it.
So a 30 is followed up by a 29, and Gogol maintains that 2-point lead. They will, of course, go and check the arrows down at the target, but it does look like it's a 115 plays 113 going into the final end. One point, John, that we talked about in able-bodied archery, the likes of Sara Lopez from Colombia, for example, shoots extremely quickly. Her process is fast, and it puts pressure on the opponent. There's not a huge amount of time to recover, both physically and mentally, from the shot before for her opponents. Was that a little bit of the case here for Devi?
Yeah, absolutely. You get into your own rhythm, and then you start to dictate how the match pans out, if you like. And all you're then doing is quickening the other archer up. You know, so in that instance, it puts them under more pressure because they're not comfortable with their own shot routine. You've got to slow the match down to what you're comfortable with. Yeah, you get 30 seconds, because obviously we get a little bit longer in the para movement. We get 30 seconds opposed to the 20, but you could still dictate how the match pans out.
Well, this one remained tight through the first two. Gogol broke away in the third. Looked like Devi was putting some pressure on her at the beginning of the fourth, but Gogol's maintained that 2-point lead, and it will be Devi to shoot first in the fifth, trailing by 2. Not insurmountable, but Gogol seems to have hit her stride here.
Yeah, she needs a 10.
Well, she gets it. You called it.
Yeah.
And, she got it. Another quick shot from Gogol, and that's also in the 10 by the looks of things. Now it starts to look a little bit more of a steep hill to climb for Devi. She needs another 10 here, really.
Yeah. Yeah, long hold.
Yeah, just started to see a slightly longer holds from Devi. Perhaps the pressure that Gogol's putting her under. Ooh, now that's a close one, isn't it? What would you call that? 8 or a 9?
I think that's a 9. That. She needs a 10.
A 9. She certainly does. Can she finish in style with a 10 and put some pressure on her opponent? Well, yes, she can. A 142 set. Remember, the target, the maximum target is 150, so that is not a bad score at all. Oh, but there you go. What a finish. That measure makes no difference now, because finishing with a 10, Jane Gogol has taken this either 144 to 141 or 144 to 142. And it was marked up to a 9 for Devi. She finishes on 142, collects the silver medal, but Jane Gogol took a couple of ends to get into her stride, and then she powered on through. And Jane Carla Gogol from Brazil is the gold medalist in the compound women's open division here in Nove Mesto.
The gold medal goes to Brazil for Jane Carla Gogol. Silver medal goes to India for Sheila.
Well, John, this is what we love about sport, isn't it? The emotion now pouring out from Gogol. This means so much.
Absolutely, and now it's the men. You know, it's this is like the gender wars now. They've just seen 2 women put 2 phenomenal scores in, and now the men feel the pressure on the practice field, waiting to come into the arena. They're thinking, "Oh no, we've got to live up to our status." That's good scoring, 144. Yeah.
Yeah, quite right too. A great score from Jane Gogol to take the match, but what a performance from Sheetal Devi from India, collecting the silver medal. And as you said, John, we're likely to see a lot more from this youngster.
Oh, absolutely. She's got the world at her feet. You know, she's, you know, she can go on to great things. She only looks, I don't know what age she is. She looks in her early 20s, but yeah, she's going to be the force to be reckoned with. these athletes are the future of the sport at the end of the day.
Yeah, fabulous stuff from the pair of them. And Chital has to settle for the silver medal.
Ladies and
But
gentlemen,
not a bad
let's
performance at all from her.
welcome the next category, Compound Men Open.
So we move on to the men's individual gold medal match in the Compound Men's Open division. Let's go straight down to the field of play to welcome out the athletes from Great Britain and Ukraine.
On target number 1, representing Great Britain, Nathan McQueen. On target number 2, representing Ukraine, Sergei Atamenko. Line judge for this match is Yan Chen.
So on target number 1, Nathan McQueen from Great Britain takes on the Ukrainian Sergei Atamenko. Now, Atamenko, as you can see, is prostrate, standing up. This looks a little unfair to me, John.
Absolutely not. Wheelchair user? Nah, absolutely. This is two great archers, top of the rankings. You know, it could go either way this way. Nathan's riding the crest of the wave at the moment. He's on fire. You know, he's been shooting fantastically in Britain. I thoroughly expect this to be a close match.
Well, about to get underway. McQueen from Great Britain to shoot first, having to do a little bit of a redraw, but as John says, 30 seconds gives you time to do that. Starts with a fabulous shot, having to settle himself back in. And matched by Atamenko. So, John, just talk us through. This is an athlete in a wheelchair taking on an athlete standing up. So, what are we looking at in terms of the disability for Sergei Atamenko?
I'm sure he's a lower leg amputee, so he's got a prosthetic leg. You know, so he struggles because he has no feeling through that leg. Okay, whereas with the wheelchair user, you know, we are on 4 wheels, so we have a firmer footing, if you like.
Yeah, and that's an important point, isn't it? We know that lower leg amputees do have this balance issue, this stability issue, and we see some archers using a stool rather than a chair. Some archers standing. That's what I suppose. That's what this open category is all about.
Absolutely. You know, we as para-athletes, we obviously want to be recognised as para-athletes, but ultimately we want to be known as archers. So we want to be able to take our ability onto the able-bodied shoots and represent our countries in able-bodied competitions. We shoot no different equipment. The only difficulty we have is basically retrieval of the arrows, and that's when you would go into an able-bodied competition with the need of having a good agent that will shout for every arrow that you scored as their own, if you like. But these two guys, it's a flip of a coin here, you know.
So a tight match at 29:30. So you talk about you want to be known as archers, but of course a lot of the audience watching this are going to have a variety of impairments. We've had the visually impaired category here in Nove Mesto. So if you're watching it, I mean, really, we should be calling out all the scores, shouldn't we? Of almost every arrow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a 10. And I think maybe you can hear that from the stadium announcer as well. Score is McQueen 39, Atamanenko 30. And Atamanenko puts that one into the 8 at the start of this second end.
Nathan needs a 10 now. 10 here, and he'll wrap this match up so early doors.
9, maybe 10.
Good grouping from the Brit with a 9. Atamanenko right back at it with a 10, with the scores all tied up.
Oh, Nathan dropped his arm then. Dropped his bow hand. Not happy with that shot.
Is that fatigue or concentration?
That's concentration.
So 9 to settle things at the end of the second. It's 57 apiece between McQueen and Atamanenko. So we always talk in commentary about the two sides of the coin. The opportunity presented when a point or two are dropped, and then that opportunity being taken. It seems to me that, John, you were suggesting that Nathan McQueen missed out on the opportunity there.
He did. He knows he has. But the thing is, what he's got to now, or what his coach has got to be doing, is remind him of how well he is shooting, where he's come from, what he's been doing, what he's been doing at home. You know, I thoroughly expect now for him to bounce back now, because he's being comforted by his coach, and she'll just be reminding him of what he's capable of, you know. So he knows he let it slip, but I'm sure he'll bounce back stronger.
Yeah, and I guess the coach has got to look at the coach has got to look at this and say he was 29-30 down after the first, and he's got himself back level. So he has got a point back in that second, and now he's got to build on that.
Absolutely. Atamanenko, when you watch him shoot, he tends to rip through the shot. So there's a lot more body movement, whereas Nathan, if you see when he shoots, it's more an expansion. It's more finesse. But Nathan's shooting really well at the moment. He won't be fazed by that. If you just watch the body movement now.
8, maybe 9.
Nathan's forgetting where he's at. He seems to fit, you know, once he's finishing his shot, he's aiming to put his arm up, because he's feeling as though he's in a mixed team match, because that's what you need to do to sort of let the judge know you finish your shot. He needs reminding that he's in an individual match here.
10.
Well, there you go. The end of this third, and well, we're waiting for a measure. I fancy this is going to end up 85-85. John, clearly you're British. You competed for Great Britain, won your Paralympic medal and your world titles with Great Britain, your Paralympic title, I should say, and your World Championship titles for Great Britain. And you clearly know and support the British team. How well do you know McQueen? Have you shot against him, with him?
Nathan was a teammate. We've won many medals together. You know, he and I shot in Tokyo. You know, we were competing against one another to be the highest ranked archers for Tokyo, because that would then determine who goes into the mixed team. You know, so it was 72 arrows against my teammate. You know, so it was a tough shoot, the Tokyo Games. You know, but you know, Nathan came through it unscathed. Unfortunately, I was removed from the program, but hey ho.
But still, clearly a big supporter of the British team. And what is the British setup like? Is it a burgeoning, blustering setup? Are we looking good for Paris?
We're very strong in the organisation. You know, the organisation has basically relocated itself in the premises of Lilleshall. You know, so we're in the process of having a new facility built. So we're looking towards the future, definitely.
Well, the immediate future is in the hands of this pair. Nathan McQueen of Great Britain taking on Sergei Atamanenko from Ukraine. And at the moment, there's
shot.
nothing between them. 95 apiece, both shooting 10s at the start of the fourth.
It's going to be who holds it together.
9. 9.
They're matching each
Blow
other.
for blow here. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. It's so tight, isn't it? It's absolutely incredible. 104 apiece. McQueen on the line.
10.
Ooh, pops it into the 10.
I think he got lucky with that one. He gave up on that one. And he knows it.
Well, you take what you can get. A bit of a movement there from Atamanenko.
Oh, yeah.
9.
And he gets away with a 9. Talk about luck. I think that was very fortunate. But it does mean that McQueen goes into the final end, leading by a single point, 114 to 113. Now, when we're talking with the able-bodied archers, my colleague Chef van den Berg, the Dutch Olympic archer, says, "Do you know what? It's not such a bad thing to be 1 point behind going into the final end."
No, because you know what you need. You know, you just got to put pressure on these guys now. You know, they're feeling it. Absolutely, it's the gold medal match in the the blue ribbon event, if you like. The men's compound is obviously the one that everybody tends to watch because it becomes that spectacle. You know.
Well, we saw Jane Gogol shoot a 144 in the women's gold medal match. That's achievable by Nathan McQueen, but he needs a perfect end to match that target. 143 available to Atamanenko from Ukraine. So it is ever so tight. It's Atamanenko to shoot first. The crucial final 6 arrows of this compound men's open gold medal match. Who's going to take gold? Atamanenko shooting first against McQueen from Great Britain.
9.
Yeah, Nathan's got this. 10 here and it's in the bag.
Confident John Stubbs, 2008 Paralympic champion.
9, 10 line.
Oh, now that is a close one because that's gone into, a couple of holes from the earlier arrow. So I think that one's going to go for a measure. Called a 9-10 liner in venue.
X10.
That one's clear for Atamanenko into the center of the target for an X10.
Yeah. Need to 10.
Yeah, it certainly does. 134 plays 132. The last 2 arrows to come.
10.
gets the 10.
But,
Sets
yeah.
a score of 142 Atamanenko. McQueen currently on 134 with 1 arrow to go. 9 will do it.
Absolutely.
And it is a 9. So even if that one liner gets marked down, McQueen has definitely got himself into a shoot-off at the very least. But I fancy that first arrow, that was a 9-10 liner, could well get marked up to a 10. So 143 plays 142 if I'm right. And it looks like McQueen thinks it's in there. We're still waiting for confirmation from the target judge. He's smiling. The coach has obviously looked down the scope and thinks it is in the 10. Atamanenko, well, he can hardly lift up his bins to look down the range. McQueen definitely thinks he's done it. There's a round of applause, and there's the hug from the coach, and the target judge confirms that Nathan McQueen from Great Britain has taken the gold in the compound men's open division here in Nove Mesto at the first stage of the European Para Archery Cup. And John Stubbs called it. It was going to be a tight one, but the Brit has taken gold over Sergei Atamanenko from Ukraine, who will have to settle for silver medal. But what a performance from Nathan McQueen.
Congratulations.
John, you called this one as a tight one, but you also talked about the sort of up and down, a little bit of loss of concentration, perhaps think he was in a team event, but Nathan McQueen, he dug deep in that one.
He did, yeah. You know, he's shooting well at the moment. You know, he did well in Britain. You know, we have some phenomenal able-bodied archers in Britain, and Nathan won a leg of the national series. So psychologically, puts Nathan in a good place. You know, he's just got to ride that now. You know, confidence breeds confidence. You know, and not to the point where you get arrogant, but everybody else is looking towards you. You know. So, yeah, it adds a little bit of more pressure, but at the end of the day, I think Nathan can carry that.
He's certainly done that here, Nathan McQueen of Great Britain, taking gold in the compound men's
Congratulations,
open.
congratulations
And it's
on
time
a
to
big
speak
win.
to the new gold medalist.
Did the cold weather affect your performance?
Parabéns foi o frio afetar a sua performance, seus resultados.
Ah, sim, o frio pra gente brasileira é bem doído, né? Então a dificuldade foi atirar com tanta roupa, com muito agasalho, então foi bem complicado. Mas assim, graças a Deus o resultado estava vindo mesmo com essa dificuldade.
And the cold is always difficult for Brazilians. It's always something you have to deal with a lot of clothes and a lot of shapes of clothes. But at the end, thank God, it was a really good performance, and I'm happy, and the result was coming.
Was this a good test for the next World Championships in Pilsen?
Foi isso bom teste para o Campeonato Mundial em Pilsen?
Ah, com certeza, é uma forma de estar vendo como o trabalho que a gente vem fazendo, né, tá dando certo, né, algumas coisas para ser melhorado e graças a Deus a gente conseguiu chegar aí na final.
Yeah, it's important to see that the work we do is giving results and is working, and also what you have to still to work on, and the result was coming, so it's a good test for Pilsen.
Thank you.
Clearly delighted. Jane Gogol there looking ahead to those World Championships in Pilsen coming up in July. And World Archery will be bringing you live coverage of those World Para Archery Championships. Sarka Vasilova enjoying herself, having taken the silver medal in the Women's W1 Open gold medal match.
Congratulations,
pressure
Nathan.
match for her,
Nathan,
but time
a
to hear
really
from Nathan
great
McQueen.
match. So was this a good test for the next World Para Championships in Pilsen?
Yeah, we're kind of using this event, well, I personally was using this event as a stepping stone towards the world. So it's a good first step, isn't it?
Great. Did the bad weather affect your performance?
During the week, I struggled with the cold a wee bit. It's probably my 720 wasn't quite where I wanted it to, but I was fine ahead to his. So, and it's lovely now, so it's typical, isn't it?
Thank you.
Well, if a Scott's complaining about the cold, it must be a little chilly out there.
Absolutely. It's one of the warmest places I've ever been. It's a phenomenal country. You know, they put a great event on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great tournament, and the conditions have been changeable through the week across the whole of the central belt of Europe. There have been storms and very changeable conditions through the week. But as Nathan said, it's lovely today here in Nove Mesto. Bit of a contrast in. Sorry, go on, John.
Yeah, you know what? If it rains, you know, it helps the Brits a bit better because I think we're more prepared for the bad weather. You know, and we have all the appropriate clothing that is needed to protect you from the cold and the wet.
Well, let's hope for some rain for the British team in Paris in 2024. But I have to say, I understand the weather in Great Britain at the moment is absolutely fantastic. Sunny skies all round, very different to the conditions we saw earlier this week here in Nove Mesto. But nice weather today. And we've got 2 more matches to come. We turn our attention to the recurve open gold medal matches for both the women and the men, and 4 countries lining up for that as the targets are changed. We've got Greece versus Turkey in the women's recurve open gold medal match, and Italy versus France in the men's open. So 2 more to go here in Nove Mesto.
So obviously now the targets are moved back to 70 metres. We've been currently shooting at 50 metres, you know. We've gone from an 80 centimetre face to a 122 centimetre face. So for the recurve archers, it's that little bit easier. The size of the goal is the size of a dinner plate. You know, so this is just the absolutely.
But you say it's a little easier. I mean, that extra 20 meters and no aids on the bow as well.
Yeah, this is down where it's, you know, if you like, it's traditional archery as we know it. You know, it's Robin Hood. You know, it's what is, you know, it's the recurve style of archery. This is where the ability to have good form pays dividends. And when I mean good form, you'll see it in follow through and a dynamic loose. You know, any flicking of the hand away from the face transfers massively into the flight of the arrow at 70 meters. You know, it's all about keeping your hand close proximity into your face. You know, whereas shooting a compound bow, you get away with a little bit of assistance with the ability to shoot mechanical release aids.
I daren't look at your social media, John, because I'm pretty sure the barebow archers out there will be saying, "What are you talking about, Robin Hood? We're the Robin Hoods of archery."
Absolutely. Thankfully, I'm no longer on social media.
Probably not a bad idea.
No.
Yeah, so we, as John said, moved to the 70-meter target, hence the little delay in proceedings. As we have a look at some of the archers and the fans out here. There is a decent crowd watching this. Again, testament to the fast rising popularity of Paralympic sport. Another spot of Sarka Myslova. silver medalist in the women's W1 Open category. Getting some snippets of the highlights from earlier today. So Nove Mesto there, winner of that women's W1 Open gold medal match.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on the field. We are on 70 meters. And let's welcome recurve Women Open. We'll have a gold medal match. Let's welcome the finalists.
So time now for the recurve Women's Open gold medal match. Contest between Greece and Turkey. Let's go down to the range to welcome the athletes.
This is maximum.
On target number 1, representing Greece, Nove. On target number 2, representing Turkey, Nove Mesto. Line judge for this match is Andrea Fortino.
The recurve Women's Open gold medal match is a contest between Dorothea Pomimenidou from Greece and Nur Erolyu from Turkey, or Turkey, as we are now to call it. Shooting over a 70-meter range. We move to the set system. So each set is a self-contained unit, if you like. Both archers shooting 3 arrows for a high score. The highest score gets 2 set points. If the scores are tied within those 3 arrows, it's 1 set point apiece, and the target score is 6. And it'll be Erolyu to go first. Straight into the 10, John. That's an impressive start.
Good start. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Turkey on fire in the recurve.
High 7.
The whole Turkish program though at the moment, obviously with Mete Gatos from Turkey, Olympic champion, so they are really riding that crest of the wave that the sport is really being followed really well. Oh, phenomenal.
So a shakier start from Pomimenidou from Greece. Cracking start from Erolyu. Great group for a 29. I mean, that is a big score, and the set points will go to the Turkey athlete. Another 8 from Pomimenidou. So,
but the thing is, it might be on the score, but it's still only 2 points. You know, and obviously you need to get to, you know, obviously the winning score of 6 points. You know.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the set system, isn't it? The set
Absolutely.
system does allow for Pomimenidou to come back, but he talked about the prowess of Turkish archery, one of the oldest archery, or perhaps the oldest archery range in the world. It's Ocular Vakfi in Istanbul.
It is, yeah.
Have you been there?
No, I've been to Antalya. You know, I've shot there a few times. I've shot in the training facility in Gloria, you know, which is phenomenal. You know, it's a 5-star hotel sports complex. It's every athlete's dream.
Well, dreaming of a gold is Nur Erolyu from Turkey. She's leading this one by 2 set points to 0. So it's Poimenidou from Greece to shoot first in the second. She needs to get right back in this one straight away. Didn't look happy, and that is why that's drifted way right into the 3. Did you see anything in particular with the technique there, Jim?
Yeah, she seemed to pluck the string a little bit, came away from her face, and as soon as you do that, it sets the arrow on its path, you know. Looks as though the wind's playing in. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you say the wind's playing a part. They're both drifting out to the right now.
9.
Oh. Clearly the wind is having a lot of impact. They're even waiting now for the time to run down before they actually finish the shot.
So better finish, but a very gettable target for a 4-0 lead. Erolyu knows that, just settling herself down now, taking her time before starting her process. A 9 sets a 24 versus 21 and a 4-0 lead for Erolyu. There is a reality here that this could be done in 9 arrows now for Erolyu.
Absolutely, and I think she knows this, you know. She's shooting strong, she's reading the weather better. She's delaying her shot. She's realising that the wind won't blow consistently for 30 seconds, so she's waiting for the lulls in the wind. So she's just reading the conditions better.
Yeah, those conditions playing a key part, but there seems to be a little bit of nerves as well with Poimenidou.
Yeah, I can't say that I've seen her shoot very much. This is probably the first time I've ever seen her shoot in a medal match. So, you know, she'll only learn from this, you know. She knows she's coming away with a silver medal, you know. She's just got to finish, you know, finish with some good, strong arrows.
Well, she's going to start the third set here. Needs to get off to a flyer as well.
10.
Just a little happier with that one, and that's why that's gone straight into the 10. The first 10 of the match. That should calm things down for the Greek archer.
Oh, good shot.
After a shaky second set, which she still took, Erolyu, she puts it into the X. It's another good one here. Oh, that's drifted off to the right again. I wonder if that wind's picking up again, John.
Yeah, I think you can see it in her demeanour as well. She's looking around to a coach for reassurance. You've just got to get on yourself, really, and rely on your technique.
8.
Well, it's another 8, but it's enough for Erolyu.
Could be over soon.
Another 6 drifting out wide for a 22. So
five will do it.
A 4 to draw the set, but a 5 is enough. And lowest she shot so far is a 7. Erolyu releases her arrow. That's gone out into the 7, but it is more than enough. A 25 plays 22 in the final set, and it's a 6-0 victory done in the shortest order for Nove Erolyu from Turkey. She had a wobble in the second, but it was enough to take the points. I think there was a nervous energy about Dorothea Potimenidou from Greece that really overtook her in the gold medal match. And it's Nove Erolyu from Turkey who takes the gold in the recurve women's open category here in Nove Mesto.
The thing is, though, you don't necessarily lose from gaining a silver medal. You win so much, you learn so much, you know, so she'll go from strength to strength, I'm sure.
Yeah, experience on the finals range, under the pressure, with all these cameras, which again is something that the para archers aren't as used to as the non-disabled athletes. But finally, we are getting some good coverage of para archery. And like I say, coming up in July, we will be bringing you live coverage from the World Para Archery Championships in Pilsen. Glenn Lama taking you through that coverage in a month's time. So one more to go here in Slovenia, and that will be the recurve men's open gold medal match. Italy versus France. A little peek perhaps at what France have to offer ahead of their home Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2024 in Paris. The Japanese contingent clearly enjoying themselves as this competition starts to come to a close. Athletes all waiting in the wings to collect their medals.
Ladies and gentlemen, last match for this tournament is ahead of us. Let's welcome Recurve Men Open Final.
As you can hear, time for the last of the action here in Nove Mesto at the first stage of the European Grand Prix in para archery. The recurve men's open category is about to get underway. Let's go down to meet the contenders for the gold medal.
Target number 1, representing Italy, Stefano Traversiani. On target number 2, representing France, Guillaume Dubois.
Last of the gold medal matches here in Nove Mesto. The recurve men's open is a contest between Stefano Traversiani from Italy and Guillaume Touquelet from France.
Two different forms of archery here, even though it's the recurve. You've got conventional finger release opposed to a mouth release. So the Frenchman has a mouth tab that's attached to the string.
So Traversani, a conventional release, as John says.
Yeah.
Getting things underway with a 10. Touquelet using a mouth release. Tell us, how does that work? Obviously, it's a replacement to the back arm, but how do you release the arrow with your mouth?
Basically, you just open your jaw, and archers around you get covered in saliva.
Get a good look at that.
Yeah, it's a cord attached to his string that he holds in his mouth.
Dropping low into the 8, so has opened the door here for a tied set, but Touquelet needs a 10 from his teeth. Not quite enough, but confidence boosting 2 9s from Touquelet to end that set, but it is Traversani leading by 2 set points to 0. Look, in all seriousness, I'm genuinely not joking here. I mean, does that not put an awful lot of pressure on your teeth?
Absolutely. He's drawing about 44 pounds on his teeth. You know, so he goes to the dentist quite a lot.
I bet he does.
He does, yeah. You know, it's the only way he's got to look after his teeth. You know, they're so important to him. You know. But by shooting with his jaw, all he needs to do is just open his jaw ever so slightly, so there's less moving parts, if you like. So he's very accurate once he gets into the swing of it, you know. And I fully expect him to bounce back.
Well, his chance comes right now. 2 set points down. Touquelet shooting first in the second. Well, as predicted by John Stubbs, the 2008 Paralympic champion, Touquelet has hit the middle of the target for the first time in the match.
It's good shooting by the eye time, I knew. That's a good group.
So good arrow here. Can put this one out of reach. Needs a 10 for the points.
Oh.
Well, that's drifted off into the 6 by the looks of things for a 25. So points could go to Traversani here. Anything more than a 7.
6, maybe 7.
Oh, that's right on the line. I think that is a 7, called a liner in venue, so they will measure that. But I fancy that will get marked up to a 7, which, if my maths is right, means they're both on 25. And Traversani has, well, if you like, saved a point really in the match. But
Yeah,
there was an
they were
opportunity.
clearly both shocked by that. Then I obviously think the wind got up there and caught them both on just surprisingly, if you like. You know, the French guy shooting 44 pounds, so that was a bit of a surprise. There looked nothing strange in the loose. I purely think that was caught on the wind.
So the time score for this end.
Well, these tiny margins make such a big difference, but as John said, both of them having shot into the gold with their first 2 hours, drifting out because of the wind, and now it's going to be a question of who can dust themselves off after that, not error, but wind-affected arrow. But it's gusty, isn't it? It's not. If you can look at the long grass in the background. It's just fluttering a little bit, but it's not a steady wind, which is so tricky for you archers.
Yeah, you've got to use everything that's in view, to be honest, and make your call just on what you can see.
So the door is now open for the Frenchman. Guillaume Touquelet needs to take advantage of this one. Again, drifting out to the right. So 9 here to level things up. Pops it into the 10. Advantage Traversani, right, John?
Absolutely. He's got it all to win now. You can see it windy in the background.
So 26 set by Guillaume Touquelet.
Anything in the gold will do.
Oh, that's just what he's done as well. And a 27 for Traversani. He gets the 2 set points when really Guillaume Touquelet had the opportunity yet again to close the gap up. That's 2 opportunities by the Frenchman lost there, John.
Absolutely. Yeah, he'll be kicking himself. Yeah, you know, he's got a lot of experience, you know. He's, you know, and looking to his coach for guidance, you know, he should be judging this himself.
So
I think he's letting the weather get into his head too much, rather than just aiming at the target and, you know, committed to the shot.
We talked about the opportunity to learn. And, you know, you guaranteed that silver medal, as you said. But Touquelet still in this match. He's 5-1 down. He'll shoot first in the 4th. He really needs to win this one to give himself some confidence. Even if he does, he'll still be 5-3 down, but he shoots first in the 4th. Is that enough?
And it went to the right as well, or the left, I should say.
7.
Which is the way the arrows, that's the way the arrows have normally been going. So the French guy's sort of been aiming off.
So perhaps overcompensating. Still drifting out to the left, but this time into the 9. 7 though from Traversani. Is he starting to struggle with the weather?
I think so. Yeah.
The group's good, and you can see Traversani now adjusting his sight. Well, good idea.
He only needs a 9.
Looks like it's cut the line. I'm going to call that.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, 26 puts this one out of reach.
9.
But Traversani correcting for a 24. Was that a 23? A 23. So the points do go to Guillaume Touquelet. Not in the most convincing manner, but points are points. And he trails by 5 points to 3 now. Close the gap up, cut the deficit in half. And we will go into a 5th and final regulation set. And of course, Touquelet, if he wins that, will force the shoot-off. Needs to start well again and put some pressure on his opponent. So we're back in that situation now where the athlete shooting first is trailing, but has the advantage, in inverted commas, to put down a big score and put the pressure on his opponent. Now, if the opponent then scores well, the pressure switches back. So we've got a really tense final regulation set, right?
Absolutely. And as you saw in that last arrow by the Italian, I actually think that he'd moved his sight over to compensate for the wind, and he trusted with his positioning of his aperture on his sight and just went with the last shot to see where it'd end up, so he could take it forward into this end. So he knew he was beaten, but he used it as a fact-finding arrow.
As John said, that fact-finding arrow in what effectively was a dead arrow is what it's all about, preparing himself, Traversani here, for this set. A 10 put down matched by Traversani. And we have got this battle now of pressure. So with Touquelet at the moment, needs another good arrow. Into the 9, not bad. Is it enough, though?
This is what I was coming to expect, absolutely. This is the experience shining through, yeah.
Traversani pops it into the 10. This is now in the Italian's hands. Good score on this arrow to put some pressure on from Touquelet. Drifted out wide into the 8 for a 27. Not a bad score, but an 8. Well, in fact, a 7's enough for the win.
9.
Puts it into the 9, and what a great final set there from both of the archers. But in the end, it's Stefano Traversani from Italy who secures a 7-3 win over Guillaume Touquelet from France. And Traversani takes the gold in the recurve men's open category here in Nove Mesto at the first stage of the Euro Para Archery Grand Prix. Confirmation then that Stefano Traversani from Italy has taken gold in the last of the action here in Nove Mesto, and he will be on top of the podium very shortly. But we are going hopefully to have a couple of interviews. First up will be Torotia Poimenidou. Sorry, Nur Erolyu, who took the gold in the recurve women's open, the athlete from Turkey, to tell us how she feels about taking the gold medal, and then we will hear from Stefano Traversani from Italy. John, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you in the commentary box. Can we entice you back sometime, perhaps?
Absolutely, I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, it's great to see my counterparts doing the sport that has meant so much to me. I'd love to be back.
Well, it's been a real privilege to have John Stubbs, the 2008 Paralympic champion, sitting in the expert seat for this European Grand Prix in Nove Mesto. We've got a couple of interviews coming up very shortly, so don't go too far.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I'm told we're just going to have the one interview here in Nove Mesto as we watch the conclusion of that recurve men's open category.
Diváky, sponzory, diváky nebo sponzory.
Congratulations, Stefano, a really great match. So was it a good test for you for the next World Championships in Pilsen?
For sure, because the condition of the weather here were very difficult for the temperature, because we are in May, so it was so cold, and I hope to find a better weather in Pilsen, and it's okay.
Preparing for Paris 2024?
For sure, but I don't want to say nothing about this.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, interesting to hear from Stefano Traversani from Italy there, not even wanting to talk about qualification for the Paralympics in Paris 2024. But that's it from us from this first stage of the European Para Archery Grand Prix. Thank you so much to John Stubbs, 2008 Paralympic champion, and thanks to all of you for watching.